Is there ever a moment where you're like, this dish is too difficult to replicate the same way? Okay.
Yeah.
And then in that circumstance, do you just reduce the level of difficulty of the dish?
And what dish?
Yeah, I think we've done that a lot over the last few years, is trying to make things that are, I call them big bullseye, you know, like they have a big bullseye. They're much more easily replicable for whatever reason than a dish that takes a lot of in the moment talent. Like the ticket comes in, I ordered this thing and it takes a great deal of talent to make this from scratch versus something that is predetermined to be in a big strike zone. And I have a pretty good confidence that it's going to land somewhere here and it's going to be pretty tasty.
Can you give us examples of big bullseye and maybe even small bullseye?
Like rigatoni vodka, which I sell, you know, probably the most of all the restaurants, right?
You call it rigatoni vodka? That's what you call your dish?
Rigatoni vodka?
That everybody calls the spicy rig?
Spicy, what do we
You don't know that that's what everybody
great.
calls
Spicy
it, the
rig?
spicy rig?
The spicy rig?
You don't know this about you?
The spicy
You
rig?
don't know this about you.
Tell me about it.
It's like I'm finding out Hulk Hogan doesn't know about ripping his shirt off. Like, you don't know it's called the spicy rig?
With a the?
It's so profound. It's called the spicy rig.
Go to Carbone, get the spicy rig.
Get the spicy rig.
right.
Yeah. You're not aware that that's how people speak about it?
I didn't really think that it was like it had a title like that.
He's doing market research.
There's
right?
a,
I'm like, my mind
there's
is
a
blown.
prefix. There's a the.
You
Capital.
get this. Okay. I would like to enter this discussion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sure you're aware of like the dish from different restaurants.
yeah, of course.
I name a restaurant, you know exactly what
What's
it
the
is.
dish?
Polo Bar.
The burger.
That's interesting. You went with burger.
We're gonna go with the pastrami.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's iconic for that burger.
I think the specialty burgers they do are better than the burger that's on the menu.
Okay, I'll give you
But
that.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the pastrami sandwich,
Yep.
maybe. Okay. For you guys, spicy rig.
Yep.
I also think there's another thing for you guys, which is like, it's experiential. I think the Polo Bar's in that version too. Where it's like,
100%.
you're walking into a world.
It's immersive.
As you described it earlier, like
Yep.
the play is, I think that's, I haven't heard it described that way, but I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because you're getting experience the second. You're not, it's actually like all the heavy lifting isn't on the food. The lifting has done the second you walk in.
Imagine you can be Henry Hill walking in the back of Copa.
Exactly.
If I can deliver that,
Yeah, that's yeah.
but that's a perfect shot, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a perfect shot that Scorsese set up to have all that shit happening.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
have to have running for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
I have to have a 6-hour Fellini movie happening at all times, where there's a guy lighting something on fire, there's a hot girl in the corner, there's an athlete over there, and then you walk in,
Yeah.
and you're having that Henry Hill moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to have that going for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Reservations.
Yeah. That's a great.
Okay,
that's
so
wow.
Teresi, for example, what would you go with? What is the dish? What is the thing that speaks to you? Or just
I
stands out?
The dish there for me is there's a couple. There's the Jamaican beef patty cavatelli, which we've been doing since the original. Because when we built Teresi,
Rich, did you see it just took credit for your dish?
that
The
restaurant,
Pomodoro, the tortellini.
the tortellini is
The
tortellini is probably the one.
The tortellini
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crazy too.
We wanted to make Italian food that was we called it New
York.
Yorkese.
Yeah.
Right. It was like, because there isn't really Italian food in Italy. There's regional Italian food, and they don't fuck with the other regions, right? Like Tuscany doesn't care about Sicily, right? There's no like
They just
one,
became Italy. Before that, they're these individual
they've been in
tribes.
Italy way
and
less years than we've been in America.
Yeah.
And so we were like, what if we make our own region of Italian food that is New Yorkese?
That's great.
So we pulled from the Jewish Lower East Side. We pulled from Jamaican beef patties being in pizzerias randomly.
Yeah.
We pulled from
That is
all the
great.
German local. We pulled from
great.
all of that was New York to make this food that was our New York food.
Yeah.
You know, we believed that we were doing the most Italian thing possible by not making Italian food.
So what do you think the dish is for Carbone?
rigatoni.
It's the spicy rig,
Yeah.
right?
And that's the one that you think is
Spicy.
the most.
Rigatoni
He still
al
didn't.
Caesar
He
salad
still
and the
didn't.
veal parm.
Oh yeah, it's this. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
Caesar salad.
what I think is it's spicy rig, and then the Caesar, and then I think not the sleeper, but the one that actually knocks your socks off is the veal parm. So it's like the spicy rig everybody knows about. It's like obviously synonymous with the brand, but not everybody gets the veal parm. And then when you get it, it's like, why the fuck did anybody tell me about this one? Because I don't think I got veal parm until maybe a few times that I went there. But also it's the experience with the Caesar salad. That's really
Yeah.
fun. Like having them make it in front of you. That goes back to the theater.
Yeah,
Have you ever introduced a dish to any of the restaurants that didn't work?
Bombed.
all the time.
Like, what's an example?
Give me the biggest bomb.
Well, I mean-
We're comedians. We love bomb stories.
Bombs are more like no one orders it, right? Like less they order it and they don't like it, more like you put all this effort into something and zero of them will order, you know?
Yeah.
And for chefs, usually it's like really chefy shit, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
you wanna get away from the mainstream ingredients because something's in season or something's, some farmer drops something off and you're really excited about it.
a new joke.
And particularly at Carbone, because you're being bulldozed with the #1 menu, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's now ordering through social media and
Yep.
the thing you have to order to be there, right? It's so hard to sell them something else at this point because they need the verification of being there.
Yeah, it's like Bert Kreischer's machine story.
So
This is what we came for.
I'm like, no, this thing's sure, get the rigatoni, but I promise you, this is great.
So do you try, because you always hear something like the specials are, oh, these are older ingredients that the chef is trying to get rid of or whatever. Is sometimes the special this dish that the chef really wants to add to the menu maybe, and it's in the way we would try a joke at an open mic? Is that what it is? Or are specials just something that you generally shouldn't mess with?
No, I think specials this day and age are something that they're actually trying to work on, and it's
Okay.
new. I rather reprint the menu and not verbal a special. And so that when like Ricky verbals things at your table, that's part of a script, like kind of a script.
Yeah.
Because I want there to be a back and forth between you and the waiter. I don't want to just drop menus and then you come back and you tell me what you ordered. There's nothing there for me.
And I think
I
know-
want a conversation.
Yeah, you want the.
So I force these things. I force
Okay.
conversational moments
So smart.
during the order taking. Like
So smart.
like meatballs are not on the menu at Carbone. That's an intentional thing because as soon as you order pasta, that's a trigger for the waiter to say, "You want meatballs?
Yeah.
You want to put some meatballs
And
on the
automatically
table?"
the service feels better for me because we're having a conversation.
Where you're having a dialogue. There's a back and forth happening, and you're now all of a sudden you're now trusting this person. You're putting the rest of your experience in their hands. Later on, you're not even gonna know. But like, hey, just choose some desserts for me, right? You trust them. They're captaining your experience, and it's kind of a script that we laid out in the book because I wanted to memorialize like the language of Carbone because that's how we take an order there.
Are there any other secret menu items? Like you have the meatballs, obviously, that are kind of off menu, but anything else that someone could order?
Yeah, there's all sorts of like little, we call them pocket moves, right? Like things that you can do. Well, I hate when the waiter has to ask the chef. Like when the waiter says that, oh, let me ask the chef.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't like that. I hate it in my restaurants. So I try to make sure that the waiters, the captains, they know all the things that are possible. So that when they're at a table and they're talking to you and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want the prosciutto. I don't eat pork. Oh, I can do roasted peppers with the mozzarella for you. That's not on the menu. But he knows. He's like, go ask the chef.
Smart.
I know what I can do for you. I can do this, right? Veal parm. Yeah, I'm not in the mood for veal parm tonight. You want to do a little Milanese? We'll put a arugula salad, some tomatoes on, a little lemon. Yeah, let's do that. Great. We'll do a Milanese. These are real waiters. These are lifelong waiters. These are not
Their profession.
transient people that
They
are on
wanna
their
be an
way
actor
they're
or
not on their
something.
way
Yeah.
to another thing. This is how they feed their family, right? So like give them all the tools to take care of this table
That's fine.
and let us cook. You know, that's the model.
What are your other pet peeves for restaurants?
My own.
Not your own restaurants, but just pet peeves in general. Like,
You go to a place.
yeah, what do you hate and you try to avoid?
I'm really
for your own
sensitive
place?
to lighting and music in restaurants at this point. If the lighting is really harsh or the music is just off, too loud, off theme, abrasive, I'm not feeling it. I'm immediately put in a weird a weird like place. I'm not comfortable. I'm not cozy. I want warm lighting. I want whatever the music is. I want it to be the vibe of what I think this place is. And then those are my two biggest ones, because I think that sets the tone. You know, how do I put people in their position to just kind of succumb to my thing tonight? And if you're not feeling it, you're uncomfortable, you're immediately you're in a defensive place, and I don't want that. I want you to give in. I want you to be part of my movie. I want you to be an extra in this thing. And to give in, you have to be totally comfortable, and but you've mentally bought into this thing. As soon as that guy walks up to your table with giant menus, you're giving in. It's in your hands.
Yeah.
So the menus being huge
Is a thing.
cartoonishly huge is a thing. What
100%.
purpose does it serve?
It felt like to me at the time when we did it, again, we were going against these.
To people that don't know, can you just with your hands show how big a menu is from Carbone?
I mean, it's probably, you know,
He's not exaggerating.
2-3 feet by
It's a
3.
small flat screen TV.
Yes. It's gigantic. At the time, we were going against the micro tasting menu.
There was like a little index
was,
card. and there's
You're
4
here
things.
all night. It's the chef's way. There's no
You have
substitutions.
no autonomy, no agency.
You mean you matter nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You matter nothing.
Wow.
And here, you know, I remember writing in Italian, like have it your way. Like it says a piacere, like the way you want it. If you don't see anything on this menu, tell me what you want.
Yeah.
We want it to be a yes restaurant, because that's what Italian restaurants are.
Yeah.
Like Italian restaurants by nature, especially in Italy, is a night off for mom and dad. Because you eat so well at home.
Wow.
This is so fascinating. I never even considered that.
You eat so well at home that to go out, it's a night off for them.
Yeah.
So you're just using this restaurant as a conduit to eat well, hopefully.
I never considered
Yeah.
that. In a eat-in culture like Italy, it is not surprising that both parents know how to cook extremely well.
Extremely well.
In America, maybe one is proficient at cooking. In my family, neither. We ordered in every single night growing up in New York City, and we had the luxury to do that. But like, it was only like most family, maybe one knows how to do it. In Italy, both probably. If not them, close
Grandparents.
relatives,
No,
grandparents are ready to rock. So to choose to go out, of course the mom and pop restaurants are going to have high level cuisine, because at home, you're competing with some serious shit.
You'll see legit grandmas.
Wow, I never considered that. So a night off. So the only reason you would go out, it's not to have better food. We would go out to have better food because my parents were proficient.
No.
You're going out to have a break from cooking and cleaning.
Yeah.
And if
And you're hoping it's as good as what's at home.
exactly, you're hoping, but bare minimum, what you can do is not bust my balls.
Yeah.
And that's what probably the experience is.
I know what
longer.
I'm talking about. I'm a customer that's highly educated. I know what I want. Give me this.
I never considered the competition. The greatest competition for restaurants in Italy is not other restaurants. It's how you cook in your own house.
That's why, by and large, super fine dining in Italy is not great. You know, in my opinion, because they're competing with phenomenal base food of their mom and their grandma. And so they're trying to make this thing that's nouvelle, this new take on it, when the base product is fucking fantastic.
And any time that I've gone to one of those places, and my wife and I have gone to Italy, and
You're like, why did I go? Yeah.
it's not it, dude. It's
You need to find a no-no somewhere.
or just go to that mom and pop restaurant that people talk about.
Yeah, I've been in Florence, and we had legit grandmas cooking the food, and it was like, this is
Incredible.
fantastic.